morning all. I'm Nandhini, working as an assistant professor in National College of Engineering in the Department of Computer Science and Technology. Today, we are going to see a topic on structural constraint of relational database in linear model, which is in a database management system course. The first one is a structural constraint of relationship in linear model. It consists of one-to-one relation, one-to-many relation, many-to-one relation, many-to-many relation. One-to-one relation, when one entity in each entity set takes part of most ones in the relation, the coordinate is 1 to 1. For example, we have an attribute A and an attribute B. There is one attribute A and one attribute B. It is 1 to 1 relation. Next one is 1 to many relation. The entity in the first entity set takes part in the relationship set at most once, an entity in the second entity set takes part many times, at least twice. The cardinal is said to be a 1 to many relation. For example, we have in the left side A and in the right side we have B, C, D and E. A is being related with the B, C and D. So 1 to many relationship has been done here. Next one is many to one relationship. Many to one relationship is opposite to 1 to many relationship. For example, in the left side we will be having A, B, C, D. In the right side we will be having only the denoted with the D or something. That is an attribute. So this D attribute at right side is been relation to with A, B, C. So it is known as many to one, because at the left side we have many relations as A, B, C, and it is relationship has been given to a D relation. Next is many to many. The cardinal is said to be many to many if entity in both the entity set takes part many times. For example, both the sides. In left side also there will be many entities. For example, A, B, C, D, and the right side also there will be many entities as E, F, G, H. So this each entity will be having a relationship with 1 to 1. Next one, what is an entity? An entity is a thing in a real world that independently exists, and an entity can exist independently and distinguished from other projects. It can be identified uniquely. There are two types of entities. So entity is nothing but it is used to identify a unique situation. Entity can be of two types. What are the types of entities? As a tangible entity and an intangible entity. What is known as a tangible entity? Entity that exists in the real world physically. It has been really done in a world is known as a tangible entity. Example, person, car, etc. Because a person is driving a car, so the and all a real time entity. Next one is an intangible entity. Entity that exists only logically, have no physical existence. For example, bank account. An account amount has been transferred from one bank to the another bank, so it is cannot real world, it is not in a physical existence. Next one, what is an entity type? Entity type refers to the category that a particular entity belongs to. For example, a table named student in a university database, a table named employee in a company database. For example, a number of students can be in a university and a number of employees can be in a company. We are particularly taking an employee's name and a student's name from an university database and a company database. Next is an entity set. Entity set is a collection of set of all attributes of a particular entity that at any point in time all the entities should be in the same. For example, the collection of all the students from the student table at a particular instant of time is an example of an entity set. The collection of all the employees from the employee table at a particular instance of time is an example of an entity set. Next one, entity type and entity set. What is an entity type? Each entity belongs to the student type, hence the type of entity here is a student. Entity set. The complete data set of all entities is called as entity set. For the above table, the record within student IDs 1, 2, 3, 4 are the entity set. We can see the difference between entity type and entity set. In entity, I think in the real world with independent existence is known as an entity. A category of a particular entity is known as entity type, and a set of all entities of a particular entity type is known as entity set. Then entity, any particular row, a record in a relation table is known as an entity. In an entity type, the name of a relation table in a RDBMS is an entity. Dbms is nothing but a relational database management system. In the entity set, all rows of a relation table in RDBMS is an entity set. So each and every relation in this set is an entity set. For this, a world with independent existence. So this entity type and entity set, there is a one-to-one relation for these three of the things. This entity structure constraints of relations from one to many to one, and many to one, and the entity sets, and entity type of an relation has been discussed here. Thank you so much.